6.3, create nets, plans, and patterns. So what is a net? So a net is a drawing that can be cut out and folded to create a 3D object. So each face is joined to at least one other face in the drawing, and often like the clothing boxes that you get from a store are in the form of a net, and then what you do is you fold them up and then it becomes a box, right? So this is a net of a cube. So we would fold along this side and this side and this side and this side. We'd fold all those sides, and then this side and this side would touch then, if you think about it. And then the green sides here would touch, and then the blue sides here would touch, and let's go yellow. The yellow sides here would touch, and then this right here would be the top. Okay, I know you've seen this since elementary school, so we'll continue. Okay, a pattern. So a pattern is similar to a net, but when we cut out a net, we should be able to fold it and everything's joined. A pattern is just every face cut out separately. Okay, so this is a pattern of a can, because we'd be able to put one circle here, like it would essentially go a circle, and then this right here, if we laid it out, would be a rectangle, and then that circle on the bottom. Okay, so the object that you build with, either your pattern or net, will be a scale model of the original object. Okay, if an object is small, we increase the size using obviously multiplication by the same number for each dimension. And if the object is large, then we decrease the size using division of the same number for each dimension. Okay, so if this wanted, like this on your page right now, it's probably very small, but if we wanted to actually make it like a can, I would say a can of soup is at least this big, or maybe a can of corn. Let me see. Yeah, at least that big. So we would just multiply it in order to get like something bigger, but same scale. Okay, when we think of patterns, we think of like clothing. So clothing is all in different pieces and it gets sewn together. Okay. So let's draw both a net and a pattern of a triangular prism. So when we think triangular prism, we think triangle like this. And like this, right? So it has 2 triangle faces, and then it has 3 rectangle faces. Okay, so let's draw the pattern first, because that's way easier. We can draw triangle and another triangle. They have to be congruent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, and then however long. So let's go 4 across for the bottom, and let's go about 3 for these 2 sides. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll have a rectangle this big, and then we'll have about 3 and 3. So 3, and we'll have 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Those aren't supposed to be joined. Okay, so that's our pattern. If we wanted to draw a net, we would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be, well, 4 would be 1. And you go 1, 1, 2, 3 would be another one. 1, 2, 3 would be another one. All the sides would be able to be folded up. So those can be all joined together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then we're going to have our triangle and our other triangle. So we'd have to extend that graph paper. Or maybe just do a little bit smaller next time. Okay, so that is a net and a pattern of a triangular prism. it's just like a recap, creating nets and patterns. Nets, so a net is a 2D representation of a 3D figure that results when the figure is unfolded. So we take whatever 3D figure we want and we unfold it, and that gives us a net. Okay, they're still attached. So when unfolded, the original figure becomes a flat shape where all the edges meet to keep the net as one piece. Okay, so one example of a net arises from unfolding a soup can. This sometimes moves on me. There we go. Okay, let's click off. See what happens now. Okay, so one example. If we flipped up these two circular sides so that you like would not even be able to see them, and then like we'd wrap this rectangle around and wrap this rectangle around, right, the two sides, then it would become a soup can. So this is like a cylinder. Okay, so given this following net, can you think of what it would form as a 3D figure? So this is square base, and then they're triangular sides. So this is a square-based pyramid. Okay, so go ahead and determine another example of a net, and then name the figure. Okay, now patterns. So a pattern is another 2D representation of a 3D figure. Okay, and this results when the figure is separated into individual shapes. Okay, one example that arises is pieces of clothing. So if you consider a skirt, so this nice lady wearing a skirt, okay, if you take that skirt, well, of course she's going to have a waist, right? But if you took that skirt and you took out all the stitching in the side here, and all the stitching in the side here, what it's going to look like for the front, F for front and B for back, is it's just going to look like two trapezoids. Okay. One thing that we have to consider when we're doing this in real life is we have to put a little bit of a seam here so that there's enough material to actually sew together. Okay, so if you were to Google nets or patterns, what happens is there's enough. Sometimes the artist includes enough so that you can tape it like in real life. Okay, determine another example of a pattern and then name that figure and then draw the corresponding net. So that's an activity you can do. Okay, now let's compare nets versus patterns. So let's think of a basic cereal box. Let's sketch the net for a cereal box on this graph paper. So we'll sketch a net and then we're going to sketch the pattern. Okay, I'm actually going to keep this small. I'm going to keep it 3 by 2 by 1. So the net, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Yep. And the flaps are going to be smaller. And this is going to be the top, and this is going to be the bottom. And then the back is going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So this will flip all the way to the back, and this S will be the side and the side. Okay, but if we put this over here, all we have to do is take every single individual. So let's go the top and the bottom. And they don't have to be in any form, so we don't have to like line these up the way we did with the orthographic drawing. Now the back and the front is going to be a 3 by 2. 3 by 2. Now let's just draw another 3 by 2. Keep it easy. And the sides are going to be a 3 by 1. So let's go 3 by 1 and 3 by 1. There's your pattern. Okay, in this situation, does a net or a pattern actually make more sense? In the situation of a cereal box, the net makes more sense. If you actually look at the cereal box, all the way around here of the cereal box is not glued at all. The only thing glued is here at the top, there's going to be a flap so that you can open it that way and this way. And at the bottom, it's glued together too. Okay, so in this case, a net makes more sense. You're going to save lots of cardboard by not having to make flaps to glue it, and you're going to save a lot of time by just folding it together.